I am genuinely humbled when I receive complimentary comments on my videos claiming that I am the best singing teacher. But I do want to make one thing exceedingly clear. I'm not the best singing teacher in the world, as some people have claimed. In fact, I don't think any singing teacher can claim to be the world's #1 vocal coach, and I believe it is vital that you understand why not.
Sound check.
From the very start, I want to tell you that I am uncomfortable with the negative title of this video. Not because it's untrue, but because here at Voice Essentials, I try to maintain a positive posture towards singing and the singing teaching industry as a whole. But occasionally, and this video is one of those instances, it's essential to draw a line in the sand and call a spade a spade. So let me be exceedingly clear. In my estimation, no one singing teacher can claim or should claim to be the best in the world. Now, you might be asking yourself, understandably, why has Dr. Dan got his knickers all in a twist? Surely everyone's entitled to a little bit of marketing. I mean, how many times do we see a cafe claiming they have the world's best coffee? But in my humble opinion, there's a big difference between promoting your $7 burn the roof of your mouth cup of joe to the misleading advertising selling a product that can cost not only thousands of dollars, but also impact the overall health of the customer. So let's get one thing straight. There is no reputable professional body anywhere in the globe that hands out an Academy-style award for best singing teacher in the world. Associations like NATS, the National Association for Teachers of Singing, the BVA, the British Voice Association, and my two national groups, ANATS, the Australian National Association for Teachers of Singing, and the AVA, the Australian Voice Association, all work to provide professional development of singing for singing teachers. But they stop way short of declaring a best in show. So this can only mean one thing. Anyone claiming to be the best singing teacher in the world is doing so off their own bat. This self-declaration leaves me asking some questions. Questions like, what criteria are you applying to make such a lofty claim? Now, when I think best in the world, I think of 7-time world champion F1 driver Lewis Hamilton, 3-time Academy Award winner Meryl Streep, and leading scientists like 1921 Nobel Prize recipient Albert Einstein. In each of these cases, and countless more besides, the standards by which their prowess is judged are clear and quantifiable. Unfortunately, assessing the quality of a singing teacher is not so easy, due in part to the unregulated state of the singing teaching industry worldwide. Now, to be clear, I don't think regulation is the answer. Honestly, I think it would create more problems than it would manage to resolve. But I think there are many things that you can do when choosing who to entrust your vocal development to. And no, what I'm about to outline is not designed to give you the epiphany that Dr. Dan is all things to all singers. And while I do my best to improve and enhance my teaching practice in every way that I am about to define, that does not mean I am God's gift to every singer on the planet. With that said, let's talk about qualifications.
Sound check.
Like I just said, singing teaching is an unregulated industry. Anyone can hang a shingle and call themselves a singing teacher. In years gone by, when we knew very little about the biomechanics of the voice or the acoustics of human phonation, being qualified to teach singing generally meant that you had been apprenticed by a senior, more experienced singing teacher. And that model had its time and place. But now, there is so much to learn and know about how the voice works. And I can say, despite having a master's degree that majored in vocal pedagogy and a doctorate besides, I don't know and never will know all there is to know about how the singing voice works. However, I do know that whenever I recommend a singing teacher, I'm careful to direct singers to a teacher who has been diligent in their own knowledge acquisition, either formally or informally. A second area you might like to consider when choosing your next singing teacher, either for private tuition or as someone to follow online, is experience. Perhaps you've heard of the Dunning-Kruger effect. Essentially, the Dunning-Kruger effect notes that someone with lower competency levels is more likely to overestimate their ability, whereas the opposite is also true. Someone with high levels of expertise is more likely to understate their capacity. Often the key to tell here are categorical statements designed to suggest that they, the singing teacher, has the only answer or answers to every singer's problems. Let me be very clear, every singing teacher has something to offer. Some teachers have more to offer than others, but no singing teacher can be all things to all singers. Perhaps another way to say this would be it takes a village to raise a voice. Depending on where you want to take your voice, that is, what level of performance you are keen to pursue, will also factor in your choice of a singing teacher. Suppose a singing teacher has never had a professional singing career themselves. In that case, it will be difficult for them to provide instruction to the singer who wants to earn a living from their voice, simply because the teacher has never had to front up and sing under the pressure created by the almighty dollar. You cannot lead where you have not been, and you should not teach what you have not done. Of course, it's possible to flip the coin and look at the reverse scenario where the qualified and experienced singing teacher is lacking in other areas such as empathy and a refined teaching style. One of the best ways to vet this aspect is via word of mouth and online review. Discerning the quality of who's who, especially when you're reviewing online singing teachers like myself, can be difficult because it's likely you'll find a mishmash of reviews, everything from the good to the bad to the ugly. So I recommend laying another level of consideration into your process and look at who the singing teacher surrounds themselves with. A quality singing teacher will not seek to be the only voice in your learning process. So look for how your chosen teacher brings other experts into your world, including directing you to books and articles by other authors. An excellent singing teacher will also refer you to other voice care professionals like laryngologists, speech pathologists, and physiotherapists when necessary. And one final thing before I step off my little soapbox. A definite red flag should be raised if a singing teacher either directly or indirectly suggests that to learn their method, you need to forget everything you ever learned prior and start over. Always remember, you are on a vocal discovery journey. Don't allow anyone to dismiss your previous experiences as worthless. It is true that some of the things you have learned in the past will not serve you going forward, but that does not mean you should throw the proverbial baby out with the bathwater. Hopefully you can now see, when accounting for all of the things we've looked at, qualifications, experience in teaching and performance, student and peer review, and that no one can claim or should claim to be the world's best singing teacher. Such a disingenuous claim should give you pause for thought. I'm Dr. Dan. Sing well.